It's Latin. You lie on one thing, you're assumed to lie on everything. And that takes us to what happened with the wall. The definition of the wall has changed, period. I know the president is trying to have it both ways because it was such a signature promise, but we're hearing doublespeak. Here's Kellyanne trying to explain it last night.
After conferring with the experts who are involved in this process, Christopher, the president has discovered that part of it will be, he knows part of it will be the physical wall. Part of it is better technology. Part of it is also fencing. You know, there are rivers involved, I'm told. There are mountains involved. There's terrain that isn't conducive to building an actual physical structure in some places.
The president discovered geography. Yeah, I mean, this isn't just that he had to listen to
rivers involved, John.
Yes, exactly.
Have some decency.
The president discovered geography and maps. This isn't that he hadn't listened to the policy experts on this, although that's effectively what it is. It's that they're rivers and mountains.
And it's what everyone said. Here's why it matters. You know, yes, he discovered new things. I don't believe that. This was a signature promise that he and Bannon came up with that really resonated with the base, David. They liked this. They liked that it was different. They liked that it was overt and strong, and he's a builder, and he's going to build.
And it got a huge response. When he would do his rallies, people would, as you know, cheer and call out for it.
With, of course, the great couplet, and who's going to pay for it? Mexico. All right, so that was gone and now dismissed as absurd, and for somehow he gets a pass. But it's not that there's new information, David, but here's the bigger problem. We don't know if that's the truth either. We have Bernie Sanders on tonight. Do they know? Is that true? Is the president saying, okay, fine, we'll go with the different kinds of security that you already offered to fund? Or is it his tweet where he said, no, the wall really matters? Or him in the presser where he said, no, we have to build the wall, it really matters. Which is it?
Right. Look, I push back on this a little bit in terms of this being a huge deal. The president, we know, often says things that are not true. And when he's talking about things that are true, he'll speak metaphorically. Now, I don't think this was a good idea at any point, but I think this whole thing was a grand metaphor which he was willing to deal on. And it was a great line to throw out there as red meat on immigration, which meant we're going to beef up security. It sounds ridiculous when they all of a sudden say, oh, but there's mountains and rivers involved because they have always been there. Yes. The wall itself is a ridiculous concept, but there is a mindset here around what we're going to do is beef up border security. Now, this is, I think, where we have to separate so much of the bluster and beyond spin. I think real propaganda, which involves telling of untruths to the American people, with the president looking, I think, pretty seriously and perhaps creatively about how to get a big immigration bill done.
Normalizing.
Normalizing.
This was a signature promise. It was a bedrock principle for him that he was going to build an actual wall.
No, but I'm just saying that, look, why should we get so caught up? Fine, then tag him on that. But I'm saying if the wall ends up being something different, that's ultimately a good thing. So that we don't have big barriers that we're putting on our southern border. You can tag him on that. He says things and then reverses all the time.
Right.
But I think we also have to look at
criticism withdrawn.
No, it's fair criticism. But I'm saying that he can. That he could be, on to something serious in terms of getting a bigger deal than people thought was possible.
Fair point.
So he's built a big, beautiful metaphor. That's all the wall was. But to David's point, this actually shows potentially an opening to get something done with Democrats. Because if the issue is border security, not a border wall, you got room to work on something comprehensive.
All right, so then tell me, both of you and you, is this one also bluster, or is this worrisome, what he's saying about libel laws and how he wants to beef them up? Listen to this.
Our current libel laws are a sham and a disgrace and do not represent American values or American fairness. So we're going to take a strong look at that. We want fairness. You can't say things that are false, knowingly false.
John Avlon, real?
That just happens to be the current standard of libel law. You can't say something that's knowingly false. These are actually values rooted not only in the First Amendment, but enshrined by the Supreme Court in Sullivan versus New York Times. And so, look, this is it disturbing that the president keeps hitting this riff and is instructing his attorney general to look at libel laws? Yes. Are they empowered to actually unilaterally overturn the Supreme Court decisions? No. So it's both disturbing and bluster.
Okay, we have to leave it there because you did both. That was a twofer.
Thanks. Sorry about that.
Thank you very much. David Gregory, John Avlon, thank you.
Quick assignment, Google sedition laws, 1798. We've lived through this period before. It was ugly. All right, quick programming note. Senator Bernie Sanders is going to be on prime time tonight. Where does he see the debate going for DACA? What are the Democrats going to do to make things better for this country? He gets tested tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, President Trump shifting his position on North Korea. Is he ready to talk to Kim Jong-un? We have a live report from Seoul for you next.